So you want to be a photographer. You might want a fire Instagram feed, or maybe you want to go into business with your new passion. Whatever the reason, the problem is that you don't know where to start. Well, let's begin with what a photographer is. A photographer is someone who makes photographs. What is a photograph? A photograph is an image that is taken with a camera. So photography is the art of using a camera to capture an image. Simple. So you're probably thinking, we've all snapped a picture before, even if it's just been with our phones. So what makes me an actual photographer? A good photographer has the ability to build an image with purpose. The purpose may be to tell a story, or to give a feeling, or just to document a moment in time. But typically you know when a photographer has taken an image because that image has purpose. There are lots of photography rules that make things seem so complicated, but you often see that great photographers break these rules all the time. That's because when you understand the rules, you can break them in a way that fits the purpose of what you're trying to accomplish. For example, in the beginning you learn how to capture images that are sharp and in focus. But an experienced photographer can create an image that is intentionally out of focus, but magically, it still works. So understand that there is nothing you can't or shouldn't do, technically. No matter who you listen to, you'll always find that many photographers have their own thoughts and ideas about photography that might contradict each other, but doesn't stop anyone from being successful at doing it. There will always be someone that is very successful doing exactly what someone else says not to do. So that doesn't mean completely ignore the rules, but treat them more as guidelines and not hard set rules. The first thing that you need to understand is that photography is an art form, and art has no rules. Got it? Good. So what do you need? A camera. What kind of camera? Any kind. Literally. So why do you see professionals use cameras that cost thousands of dollars? Does this mean that you're doomed if you can't afford that? Of course not. Gear does matter, but it doesn't. Let me explain. A good camera doesn't mean the picture is good. A good camera can give you more flexibility. A good camera can save you time. A good camera can provide you with more options, but a good camera won't make your work good. Some of the most iconic images were shot on cameras that are worse than what comes on the iPhone 4. So no excuses about gear when it comes to getting started. The first thing I recommend is understanding how cameras work. There are three main settings you'll want to master regardless of what camera you use: shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. Shutter speed controls how fast the camera shutter closes when the picture is taken. Aperture controls how big the opening is in your lens. And ISO controls how sensitive the camera sensor is to light. The combination of these settings determine what the final image looks like. When you snap a picture on your phone, it's basically just choosing these settings in the background for you on what it thinks it should be in that moment. When you use a professional camera, you have more flexibility on how and what to set these settings to. But at the end of the day, they all work the same. So now that you know what being a photographer is, and you understand that you need to learn how a camera captures images, you can now move on to what I call the study phase. You can look at what's already been done to help you figure out where you want to go. You can look at images and determine what you like about them or what you don't like about them. Your technical knowledge can help you understand how to replicate the things as well as how to avoid doing the things that you don't like. You can study how colors work together or how things are positioned in a frame that makes it a great photo to you, or not. No two photographers are the same, and remember, art has no rules. So never feel like your work has to look like someone else's. Focus on what you like. This can change over time, but always follow your best judgment. Comparison is the thief of joy. Keep sight of your own progress and focus on perfecting your craft. So you know what photography is, you understand how cameras work, and you studied what you feel makes a good image. Now what? Go shoot. Then go shoot some more. Rinse and repeat. One thing to remember, you'll never stop learning. You know what photography is, but you'll learn what it is to you. You know how cameras work, but you'll learn how to make it work for your purpose. You know what makes a good image, but you'll learn how to make it a great image. Congratulations. You're now a photographer.